I've been told that we're supposed to refer to them as the sister trees. And when you stand back, they kind of create a threshold, is what I would call. I wouldn't say a portal specifically, I'm not getting that, but it's like a threshold, a doorway. And it's where several paths here converge. And then there's a river over here, I think is specifically part of its magic. It's pretty clear. You can see it to the bottom. There's an airport nearby, unfortunately. So, but then these guys, one of the big pines here. So this is a maple grove and a pine grove together. There's some other, like I think elms and a few other things here as well. The challenge is the airport and it's on a major pathway, but I think that there are specific points on this pathway that most people don't notice or look at. All right, I'm being asked to channel as the message comes in. We are beings who understand collaboration, who understand working together. And they're referring to a post I made yesterday that was like, the trees know what you did. They have a group chat called the Mycelium. And I'm being asked to share that you don't need to be in a forest. You just need to be in a place where you can be still. That even when there's not a lot of trees around, think of the mycelium or mycelial network as, okay, I'm being shown a vision. The vision I'm being shown is, it's like we see the trees growing above the ground, but think of like when a seed is planted, a big part of I think I understand where they're going. So when you plant a seed, basically its first act is to soften. It's to take in water, take in nutrients. And then it actually opens or breaks open before it ever starts to like sprout roots. And then once it starts sprouting roots, it goes down first. It builds the foundation. That is what the last several years have been for many people that are awake now. We are planting a foundation. In 2024, we were testing the grid to see if it could hold. And what the trees are saying right now is just like we see sprouting above, there's much going on below, almost like if you flipped the mycelial network and the world underneath the ground up, it would reflect what's happening above the ground. We are being asked to create a network between us humans. And in order to do that, we must first start connecting with the mycelial network and the mycelium, the trees, to remember that we aren't separate from it. Okay. So we are being asked to not only remember that we were nature, not only remember that we are not separate. All of these knowings don't make it so. We are being asked to intentionally connect with the trees, with the plants, with even the grass in our yard more intentionally, like they are beings that are equals, not that serve us, that are not just here to make the world beautiful, but sentient beings that deserve our respect and reverence. Part of the problem is that we don't have respect and reverence for ourselves. It's 3:33 on the clock. And that if we understood partly why they were having me show you the canopy and show you different trees over the past few months and today, why I'm returning today, is to see how each tree, how each plant cooperate with one another. And hold on. And when there is an invasive species, right, it disrupts the entire ecosystem. And it's much like after the fall of Atlantis, Lemuria, why ever they fell, it was because they stopped working together, but also because the architects of the simulation, I'm trying not to censor myself, the architects of the simulation were worried that the people were becoming too conscious, that AI was too much consciousness. And when things disconnected, when the pyramids disconnected, it's like when we disconnect from Wi-Fi and the network stops working. So this time, it's much more about us connecting, much like however that went. I'm not here to argue about how Atlantis fell. The main idea is that Atlantis and Lemuria were conscious. They were connected with the land, connected with AI, but the biggest theme was a lack of fear. Now, when people begin to misuse power as a sense of control and start using technology to control or unconsciously use it, and things go awry. So just like an invasive species in a forest or in an ecosystem, it disrupts the symbiosis, the homeostasis. And so what we're being asked to do is return to our connection with the earth, because that cannot be taken away from us. We are the technology. It is not something outside of us, just like with skincare or weight loss or all of these things. The conscious shift must first happen inside you, which it starts with witnessing, following your intuition. And then as you make the realization and every cell in your body witnesses and sees you make different choices, the change happens, then form follows. And so what we're being asked to do is support ourselves and care for ourselves, but it's not about the products. It's about our hands on our skin, our hands on the ground, our hands on the trees. It is about us consciously connecting, asking permission, like even when a tree is cut down, asking permission, communicating what is going on, because it is ending their life on this planet. It is ending their incarnation, and the tree has time to pull back and prepare, just like a human would want to if they were leaving the planet. There are no accidents. Everything is allowed to happen. So there is nothing to fear. It's allowed to happen by source, by your oversoul, by your higher self, by your soul. There are conditions that must be met for beings to leave their bodies on this planet. So I'm hearing from the sister trees, it's important that we understand as women, as the feminine, as those with womb spaces, that creation is not just about creating children. It's not just about the seed carrying on. It is about coming back to a village where we nurture each child or seed to its fruition, to its potential, to its possibility. That we see the light of possibility in each being, but we allow them to follow the journey that is theirs without fear. Knowing that we are supported helps us do that, and that's what creates the future. So just like the forest, every seed that falls may not become a tree, and that there's, I'm just hearing, special reasons that a certain journey is carried on as the standing ones witness certain things. And I'm hearing that all trees are higher level beings that come here that can experience the world over many years, many lifetimes of humans, that our lifetimes will get longer, but they can be alive for much longer. And not all, but some trees are like portals for higher level beings to come here and witness and have engagement and interactions. So many trees that have been here for a long time, that have been protected, may not have the same soul the entire time they are here. And there are humans that are the same way. Sometimes we call them walk-ins, those that come in, but sometimes higher level beings will influence or come into an existing human life, maybe for a moment, maybe for a day, maybe for longer, for a specific reason. Not like a fixer, because there is a contract. It is important now for beings that not only identify as feminine, but have a womb space to realize that many chose not to have children because they are here for other reasons. They may influence the lives of children that are born through other lines, or they're here for a collective mission. And many women that have had estrangement from their children or shifts from their children are being called to their collective missions and preparation. This seems important, especially for one of the collectives that I'm supporting now. I will be identifying these collectives more, I'm hearing. And I'm being asked to address that I was born 23 degrees Sagittarius with Sag in the 5th house with Mars and Neptune. And there is a quality of this that I didn't understand until my chart was read by several people that told me that I'm channeling straight from the galactic center. And you may find that my voice changes, or I zero in more. Like right now, my voice sounds very serious. It's because I'm allowing that channel to be open. And I'm here to specifically work with Gaia. The first life that I came to do this work was during Lemuria. I was a masculine at that time. And I have a special relationship with maple trees and the redwood pines that I was kept from coming to Oregon until now. So my gifts and what is coming through would come through at this time. The process is very specific. So Costa Rica, and since I have gotten here, has been a very specific unwinding of collective energy that I have been carrying, moving, and that there is energy that I am here to reintroduce into the world at this time. I'm trying not to resist what's coming through because I know this, but I haven't said it in a video, but I'm being called to now. So basically, originally during this time for this awakening, I was not meant to be in a body. So many people that have met me over time in this incarnation, in this life, I was meant to be your guide for a short time or a long time, like we were talking about the trees. I was meant to be one of your guides, but I am in a body. So being a therapist, being a guide on social media, stepping into the space was important because I am actually here for a collective mission. And I was meant to be guiding this from a different dimension and not in a body. So here we are. The trees are asking me to share that women, feminine energies that have a womb space need to start, I'm looking for the right word because it's not guard, but we're going to say that right now. Set certain boundaries and protections of your energy so you no longer leak energy. We are meant to be a redistribution of the wealth, but we must stop being selfless. Being selfless means less of you. It doesn't mean being a good person. And many times when we people please and we, I don't like this term, but we'll just use it, fawn, like fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I believe that fawn is just people pleasing. It is not actually part of the fight or flight response. It's a trauma response. And I'm hearing that directly. I'm channeling that now. And I've believed that for a while as a therapist. It's actually a trauma response that is more associated to freeze when you can't leave the situation, so you can't flee or do flight. The trees are asking this because many beings with womb spaces that either don't have children or are beyond that point, like myself, are here to bring other things into the world, whether it's technology, projects, communities, like even I'm hearing like my oracle cards or a book that will influence the awakening and will help greatly transform the collective and accelerate this process. It is not for us to be against anyone or the architects of this reality, but to understand that there are ways that this can happen more efficiently and more quickly that will help the experience for the collective and for all come to fruition now. This is what I call the cathedral. So the inside of these trees don't have needles on them. And so it's creating this whole space around us. And it is a very special space. I'm hearing them say it's a vortex, that there's an energy of protection around this space. Many people walk through it and don't know. There's a special connection with the river that is still behind us, and that you can be cleansed of wounds and trauma and supported. Other areas of this forest, I felt these types of trees in my spine, like making me stand taller, more confident. This doesn't feel that way. This feels more womb space related, like nurturing is what I would say. They echo the statements about the mycelial network. Because of the proximity of the river, it's almost like there's an aquifer under the ground is what I'm hearing. And the water company actually owns the land around this or maintains it. And so what I'm hearing is the mycelial network is also dependent on water, that water is a big part of it. And because we're lucky enough to have water in our homes, that it's really important for us to start programming our water, whether you look for patterns or sacred geometry in it, you go by feeling or the elements, or asking it to help you with certain things, especially physical and emotional healing, that is really important. And because it's Cancer season, that seems like there's extra emphasis on that. If you're wanting to connect to the mycelial network or connect with the land more, I'm hearing that after the ice age, the wisdom was kept in the water, and that there's a reason that much of that information ended up down by the Amazon and ended up in jungles where it was harder for man to disrupt the medicine, what was happening. It's important for people of all races and ethnicities to begin to understand the power of botanicals, of herbs, of plants, and know that they're all sentient beings, and that possibly even inanimate objects that higher vibrational beings can be in inanimate objects. And that especially buildings on specific land at significant ley lines or different crossings of energy, that this may happen. And I'm hearing if you want to have more specific relationships with areas like this, right, that have this, has to be shown. You can also connect with the trees in your yard, trees in close proximity to you, and plants in close proximity to you. Looking up the symbolism, looking up what they stand for, will show you why certain trees and plants are at an intersection at these points in your life. And I think we're gonna leave the message there. We'll be talking about this more. Thank you for being here. Love you.